Recognize Representative Levin.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Representative Hayes, for the opportunity to serve on this subcommittee. I think it's going to not be a shock to folks in the room that I oppose this bill. I did appreciate the amendment that came in committee. There was a good discussion amongst my colleagues about amending the language to include that bullying needs to be repeated and targeted, and what constitutes bullying, whether one incidence is bullying or harassment, or whether it needs to be repeated and targeted, and not everyone felt the same. It was an interesting conversation, and so I appreciated the opportunity to have that conversation. In the end, though, this bill constitutes a major problem for me, because what we're doing here is getting rid of a definition that is not exclusive, but inclusive. The definition reads, trait or characteristic of the student includes, but is not limited to, age, color, creed, national origin, race, religion, marital status, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, physical attributes, physical or mental ability or disability, ancestry, political party preference, political belief, socioeconomic status, or familial status. I imagine some folks are feeling like they're having deja vu because about 6 bills ago I read kind of a similar sounding list, not the exact same one, but similar, for good reason. This list is not meant to say that these are the only traits or characteristics that can be defined when someone is harassed because of these traits. That's not the only way that you can qualify something as bullying. It is meant to be inclusive and to say that these are amongst the traits or characteristics for which a student can be bullied. And the reason that we do that, the reason that in 2007 this language was included in the Iowa Code, is to ensure that the adjudicators, the teachers and the administrators who have to decide when something has risen to the level of bullying and harassment, when they are making that determination, they don't rule something out just because it doesn't look like bullying did in their own past experience. Right? So when I was a kid, there was bullying that went on in my class for a wide variety of things. People were bullied for being weird, right? And so when kids are weird, the other kids just pick something, and that becomes the thing they get bullied about, regardless of whether the other kid sitting 3 seats down from them has that same thing. So for example, there was one of my classmates who got glasses and was clearly self-conscious about that, and they were bullied for having glasses. Like half the class had glasses. Not everybody was being bullied for having glasses, but because this kid was singled out and was the target of bullying, it was the fact that they were self-conscious about their glasses that made that the object of the bullying. Other kids were bullied in what still to me as a 37-year-old seem like unfathomable ways. We had one student for whom other members of the class male members of the class would go up to this female student when we were all 10 and ask her to marry them every day. It made her incredibly uncomfortable, but they did it day after day after day. In fact, they did it because it made her incredibly uncomfortable. My purpose in giving these examples is to point out that bullying doesn't look the same from one class to another class, from one age group to another age group, or from one group of kids to any other group of kids. And so we have this inclusive definition so that when the adults who are responsible for stepping in the cases of bullying and harassment are trying to decide, is this what bullying looks like? They can look to this definition and not see something that says, no, it's not, but see something that can help them to determine, yes, it is, right? This definition does not say that bullying can't be something other than this, but it does say that if you've never seen a kid bullied because of a disability, and suddenly this kid is being made fun of for their glasses, hey, look at that. Physical or mental ability or disability, it's right there in the list. So I, as the educator in the classroom, now see, okay, my instinct is correct. That kid is being bullied, and I can step in and protect that kid. Taking out this definition means that we're going to go back to a previous world in which every single adult who has to make these determinations has to do so purely on their own experiences and their own prior knowledge, rather than relying on the wisdom of ages that is represented in this definition. Over time, we have determined that these are among the most common reasons for which students are bullied. In fact, the Department of Education collects data on the reasons why students are bullied. And I found it really fascinating that within that data, it was stated that 201 schools experienced 0 instances of bullying in the 2024-2025 school year. I don't know about you all, but I remember school. I don't remember a year going by where no one was bullied. So in my opinion, instead of taking out this definition, what we should be doing is increasing those reporting requirements to make sure that we are accurately and adequately serving students, making sure that their needs are met, and making sure that when they are being bullied and harassed, it is the intervention that is appropriate is put in place. I appreciate your attention, and I would appreciate very much a no vote on this change that will take away from our educators' ability to adequately protect our kids from harassment and bullying. Thank you.